Hi, today I want to talk to you about a topic that I have been working for a while, and it's about the statistics of Metin2 and what we can expect in the future. So I prepared this video in Spanish, and I thought that it was also important to do it in English because it's something that in reality affects to all the communities and players, and it might be interesting for some of you that don't really know what's happening in other communities, and also because I think it's important that all the communities are like connected to each other, that we get on well with players from different countries. So well, what I did is I collected data from all the rankings in all the pages of the countries of Metin2, and I analyzed it in order to know what is the magnitude of some countries and what can we expect from the servers clustering in different countries. So I will try to be brief. So let's start, okay? First of all, I want to show you the table I made where you can see all the countries, the servers that are in each country, the amount of 120 players based on their level. I think that it's a good measure to know how big is a server, even though probably there is some lack of information because in a server there can be a lot of level 30 players playing, but still I think it's a good measure because of course if there are 500, 120 players in a server, it's obvious that it's much bigger than a server with only 100. And finally I also put the amount of all servers that were before some merges and other things that happened in communities in the time. So, well, finally I also put obviously the percentages in order to know the magnitude of each country and to be able to compare them. Before starting to analyze it, let me put them in order so you can see that how are the servers, well, the countries. First of all, we see that Turkey is the community with more players and servers. They alone have 13 servers, while all the total is 58. That means that in terms of servers, they are the 22% of all the community, and by players it is much bigger because they have 35% of all the 120 players in all the communities, which is 2,392 120 players, which is quite a lot if we compare it with other countries. So, well, after Turkey we have Germany, which is 14% of the total community, which is quite obvious because, well, the company is from Germany, and I guess this is one of the main reasons. After that we have Romania and Polish, so they are quite the same. And then we have Spain, which is obviously my country, and it's only 5%. When I wanted to make this video and mainly show it to the Spanish players is because, well, Spain is only 5% of all the community, so for those who say that Metin2 is dying or Metin2 is lacking of players, I wanted to show them that only 1 out of every 20 Metin2 players is from the Spanish community, so it is much bigger than what can any of us like expect, no, or see. Finally, we have after Spain, Italy, Portugal, Arabia, and well, the last countries in the table are Holland and Denmark, which are only 0 point something percent, which is very, very small. Now we see the graph where we can see the impact of Turkey, which is the biggest, and the low impact of some other countries like Greece, Russia, United Kingdom, etc. Finally, in the same order, we see the servers. So, for example, what we can see here is that if Germany is the second biggest community and it only has 5 servers, while Spain has the same amount of servers, it means that the German servers are much more full than the Spanish ones because it's like the same amount of servers but with triple amount of players. Here we have the comparison between the clusters that are going to be there in, well, this month, which is the East and Eastern cluster. In the East cluster in Europe, we have Romania, Polish, Czech Republic, and Hungary, and we see the percentages. More or less, Romania and Polish are the same, 40-something%, and the other two are much smaller. So, well, we can see how this cluster is going to be in these graphs there. And also about the European Western clustering, we see that nearly half of it is going to be German players, and in second position we have Spain, which surprised me quite a lot, and then we see the others that has less impact. Now we see the amount of servers that are going to be there. As I said, the most servers is going to be Spain and Germany, which is also quite surprising for me because, well, Germany is much bigger, and probably that means that Spain might need a merge soon, and I guess that you can extract these ideas from your countries if you compare the numbers. Here we see another graph where we can see the impact, and we can see the amount of servers compared to the total, and here this is more important because it's the real activity of servers. We see the numbers of 120 level players, and also in percentages. Finally, I put in a table the rest of countries that are not going to be clustered, but I think it's not interesting to compare them because they are going to be alone. But I want to point out the big impact that has Turkey in Metin2, because it's, well, again, more than 1/3 of all the Metin2 community, which is quite a lot. So, well, this is what I extracted from all the rankings in Metin2. I think it's quite interesting to see it because probably, well, in my case, I didn't know how was Spain compared to all the Metin2 community, and I'm very happy to see that it's only, in my case, a 5%, because it means that the Metin2 community is so big and we can do so many things, and if one day Spain lacks players, which is not the case at the moment, if they are merged with other people from the cluster, we only represent at 17%, which is quite small. And also, if one day they finally happen to merge everyone, still Spain is 5%. So there are a lot of players, a lot of potential to learn from all. So I think that the community is very big. I think it's very interesting to see the numbers. So, well, now it's your turn to comment if you found it interesting, if something surprised you or you didn't expect it. I can assure you that it was my case in the Spanish numbers. So if you like the video and you want me to make some more videos maybe in English in the future, so you can probably understand me more than in Spanish, let me know in the comments. Share it with your community so they are aware of my channel and the possibility that I make videos in English. Don't forget to like it, comment, and that would be all. See you in the next video.